Hey everyone in JCTV land, it's Larissa here with Reva, and we are interviewing our guest Lila Rose. She is the founder and president of an organization called Live Action, and it is promoting the pro-life platform. She's also a UCLA student. Go Bruins! And we're so excited to hear about all her undercover sting operations and what she really did in college. Here, so thanks Lila for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
And so you're actually about to graduate. I know you didn't get to like expand on that in the hot seat, but what's your major and what are your plans after college?
My major is history, and after college, full-time pro-life work, because I've dedicated my life to building the culture of life. So all that full-time, even though I'm kind of doing it full-time in school.
Well, you know, a lot of people have actually heard about you. I know I have, like through either YouTube or you've been on like Fox News, a lot of newspapers, like a lot of coverage for undercover work. But, you know, before we get into your undercover sting operations, you were 15 when you started Live Action, right?
Yeah.
How in the world did that happen as a 15-year-old?
I know. She says she's just getting out of college, and she said she's dedicated her life. And most people don't start their life until they get out of college, and you've already lived so much.
Well, it's a blessing to know, kind of really know what you want to do and just have this calling from God on your heart. But when I was 15, it was just a matter of learning about abortion over the years as a young teen, figuring out what it was, that it killed an innocent human being, and then recognizing more and more as I thought about it that this is a human rights abuse. This is the biggest human rights abuse that I believe our country is facing. So when I was 14, 15, I just really felt strongly that I need to do something. And I got on my knees and prayed, and then I just got a few friends over to start up, and that's kind of how it all began.
Just a few friends over, and
15 years old, accepting the calling from God.
We're gonna save the world, you know?
That's
how it started.
Now, didn't you mention something like when you were 9 years old, you saw a very horrifying image that stuck with you? Tell us about that.
Yes. Well, I'm one of 8 kids, which is awesome, and I was homeschooled, which is crazy, but
Which one are you in the family?
Third oldest.
Third oldest.
In between five boys, so grew up pretty tough.
Okay.
But when I was 9, I found this book in my family room, which was called A Handbook on Abortion, and I loved to read, and I was always looking around for books, I guess, so I opened it up, and it fell to the middle. And in the middle were images of a child that had been aborted. And I remember closing the book and pushing it away because I didn't want to look, and then I brought it back and I looked, and I was looking at a baby 10-week-old unborn child with little arms and legs who'd been the victim of abortion, and that stayed with me, and I just thought, how could anybody do this to a baby? Is this really happening?
And it was a book for people to do it, or it was just explaining both sides?
It was called A Handbook on Abortion, so it was written by some pro-life activists, Dr. and Mrs. Wilkie, back in the 70s. I mean, a really old book, but it was basically
informing people about
educating
what it was.
Okay. Exactly.
So, okay, now you're in high school, you got a bunch of friends, and so what is like the first thing that you guys did? I mean, you just had meetings like it's like a club?
Yeah. Well, at first it was just a few friends, and actually we'd get together and go, okay, what can we do about abortion to end abortion in our community? We were very ambitious. And then, you know, the next week, nobody came. I was sitting there with my little pack of flyers and no one was there. So it started out really small, and my mom said leadership is lonely, but you know, you just got to keep at it and just keep on trying to make a difference. So it went from that to now we're an organization with thousands of people involved with us, and we have huge outreach programs. So it started small with community-based, going to the churches primarily, talking to youth pastors saying, hey, can we address the youth congregation and tell them the truth about abortion and tell them about the culture of life and educate them with videos and a cool presentation, and that's kind of, it started snowballing off of that.
So now then you go to UCLA and you cause quite a bit of commotion with this undercover sting operation. I just like saying that because it sounds so cool.
Yes.
Tell us where you came up with the idea and what exactly happened.
Yes. Well, abortion clinics, and there are hundreds of abortion clinics across the country. There are over 3,000 abortions every day.
Oh my goodness.
And in the practice of that horrific violence, there's all kinds of other issues and problems, and women are being made victims too. So undercover work has been done in the pro-life movement before, but we just wanted to get video coverage of it, hidden camera, police quality hidden camera footage of where these abortionists are breaking the law. They're supposed to give women basic information, or they're supposed to report suspected sexual abuse. I mean, basic things that they're supposed to do by law, and they don't do any of it. They just are concerned with selling abortions. So we started to do this undercover work with the hidden cameras to get the evidence.
Does the government do any of this? Because I know they do stings for like alcohol or tobacco sales. Do they do stings like this typically?
That's a great question. I mean, the government should be investigating these hundreds of abortion clinics which are breaking the laws regularly, but they don't often because the government is giving hundreds of millions of dollars to these abortion clinics, to Planned Parenthood, which is the biggest abortion chain in the U.S. So it's kind of against their own interest.
So tell us about, now, your first sting was, where was that at? Was that at UCLA or was that at Planned Parenthood?
I am so jealous right now, okay? I'm fighting it. I have always wanted to be like a spy or something.
This undercover vigilante.
I'm like, this is so cool. Okay, go ahead.
It is cool, but it's also just hugely saddening and hard because you're going into literally where the enemy is. What better thing does the enemy want to do than kill and destroy? Than lead women astray, to bring their children to be killed? I mean, what better thing? So these are places
do it themselves.
Exactly. These are places of death and evil. So but my first investigation was actually at UCLA. I came there as a freshman and I wanted to go to my health center on campus where they, help out the kids.
I remember that center.
You do, Arthur Ashe Center, right? Long lines. And find out what they told pregnant students. Did they support women at my school who got pregnant? Because Lord knows they are getting pregnant. Right. So what happens to them? Because we never see pregnant women on campus. And I was told by the nurse there, UCLA doesn't support women who are pregnant.
What?
There's 2 abortionists you can go talk to. We can give you their information.
So they just flat out said you can't be pregnant and on campus?
Basically. It's going to be embarrassing. It's difficult. Adoption is no fun. So have the abortion. That was my first
And there were 2 clinics that they recommended you go to?
2 different abortionists.
Wow.
So that was my first taste of the kind of manipulative counseling that those who are pro-abortion subject women to. And I wanted to find out what was happening in the actual abortion clinics after that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well then, and tell us about, there's like one particular video that's been on YouTube all over the place. Tell us about how that sting kind of undercover operation went.
Yeah, if you're talking about the sexual abuse cover-up video maybe, what we've done is we've released several videos in the Mona Lisa Project, which is basically a national undercover investigation of sexual abuse cover-up at Planned Parenthood abortion clinics. Basically, little girls go into these clinics, they're pregnant, they don't know what to do. Older men take them in often because they're victims of abuse.
Yes.
And they go into these clinics and Planned Parenthood is supposed to immediately report even suspected abuse to the authorities. Instead of doing that, what we capture on tape is they tell myself, I'm posing as like a 13-year-old, right? Have a Hannah Montana shirt on. I'm saying, he's 31. What do I do?
Yeah.
And we have the hidden cam running and the clinician says, just say he's 15, lie to your parents. Or they say, have him take you down the street or across the state lines for a secret abortion and he can pay for it, it's $500. I mean, they try to get this little girl, they cover up the crime, get a secret abortion, and they send the little girl back to the sexual abuse.
Even though they're supposed to report it to the authorities.
Exactly.